Hi everyone, welcome back to the third day of NatCon. We're back again.
Yes, and we are back. So welcome to the final day of NatCon.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to ask you guys to guess who's back. Is it
I don't want to guess.
us? I didn't ask Aryan to guess. I guess I asked everyone else. And also we're waiting for his face reveal. So
Exactly. And that's going to be at the end of the event. So hold tight because yesterday we got a lot of feedback from people who wanted Mihi's face reveal. So yeah. And it's out in the chat as well now.
yeah, so Mihir's here as well. He's gonna do his face reveal at the end. So you have to stay tuned. And yeah, welcome to the final day of NatCon.
Anyways, guys, so as most of you must have read in the mail yesterday, today we'll be having one really fun and interactive expert session, followed by the final round of debate, which has a really cool format and everyone will be able to watch it.
We will then have the remaining activity presentations as some people weren't able to present their solutions yesterday due to the time constraints, but that's when we're gonna have the most awaited award ceremony and
And there is also the pineapple pizza battle, of course,
yeah,
because that's
sure.
important. And with that, let's begin the final day of NACOR.
So our first speaker is Stephanie Evans. She's only 17 years old and she has founded an organization called Seas of Change. They work on protecting marine life and the environments and educating the youth. That itself is amazing. But what's even better is Steph has been an ocean youth ambassador and spoken at several local and state parliaments. She's truly inspiring, and I'm sure all of you guys are going to love her. So, Stephanie, the virtual stage is all yours.
Let's have a round for Stephanie Evans. Let's have a round of applause for Stephanie Evans.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for that introduction. That's very kind of you all. So if it's okay with everyone, I'm going to share my screen and give you guys a little PowerPoint presentation. So hopefully you guys can all see that. Let me know in the chat if you cannot see the screen. But yeah, hi. I'm very, very excited to be speaking to you all today. So I thought just to start off, we just go over what I am going to talk about today. So we have about an hour together. So I'm going to split that so that we have Q&A time at the end. So please be assured though that no question's a stupid question. I normally work with like really little kids who ask me like what my favorite dog is and oh, I like your hair. So like if you ask any question vaguely relevant, brilliant. So I'm going to begin by introducing myself and showing what I do and what I have done. And then I'll go through some of my key tips and tools for getting started. Then you will all have a chance to ask questions and advice regarding your projects. So at the end, you'll be able to either put your questions in the chat or you can like request to turn on your mics at the very end to ask questions or to say like, this is my project. Do you have any feedback on it? Because I work as a mentor for a lot of organizations. So who am I? My name is Steph. I'm 18. Don't worry, I turned 18 like 4 days ago, so it's okay. So I've just turned 18. I live in Sydney, Australia. School-wise, I'm in my final year of high school. I graduate in November and I'm aiming to study law at university next year. On top of schooling commitments, I also work a lot as a tutor and I run an organization, Seas of Change, which is what I'm here to talk about today. So I am the founder and director of Seas of Change, an organization that aims to raise funds and awareness for marine life and their environments. I started this journey when I was 10 years old as I really wanted to be a vet, but was too young to go to TAFE or uni. So for some crazy reason, Plan C became starting a charity. To this day, I still have no idea how that idea appeared in my head, but I am so grateful it did. When I started, there were no school strikes and climate change and environmental conservation was not associated with youth-led movements like it is now. So it was not the easiest journey. I decided to focus on an Australian marine mammal that wasn't already receiving a lot of funds like turtles and dolphins. So I chose dugongs. If you don't know what dugongs are, there are some pictures on the screen. That's me a couple of years ago with the dugong named after me. Her name is Stephanie. She's very beautiful. So in my opinion, they're quite cute. But they also might remind you of a manatee, as they're both part of the same order, Sirenia. So after deciding that I was going to focus on dugongs, I asked my dad how to make a website. I did my research and then I published the site as Save the Dugongs. I then wanted to run a fundraiser, but wanted help from someone who had experience. I wrote to plenty of people asking for advice, including a family friend who replied with the typical, "You're too young, you can't be trusted with money. Get back to me when you're 21. That's still 3 years away from me. Although this was quite upsetting, I'm pretty stubborn. So after waiting, I actually ended up receiving a response from SeaWorld Australia. Their response wasn't generic. They, a legitimate, really, really cool organization, had taken the time to read a 10-year-old's letter and reply. It shocked my parents and teachers. SeaWorld offered me prizes for a fundraiser and I went from there. So that's how I started. Once I entered high school, I met my current team. Seas of Change has a full-time team of 4. These girls are incredible and I am so very lucky to get to work with my best friends every single day. Eventually, I wanted to rebrand our work, so we rebranded to, I wanted to expand our work, so we rebranded to Seas of Change in 2018. And we now have a focus on dugongs, sea turtles, plastic pollution, and climate change, which we are looking to expand once we graduate as well. In addition, I'm extremely passionate about education, which is reflected through Seas of Change focus on the power of education to empower youth to make a tangible change. I see education as an opportunity and an investment. I believe that education can open doors for us. It also allows us to help others and it enables us to problem solve. And that is why environmental education is so very important to me. This notion is supported by our School Talks program, which involves us presenting at multiple schools and events in Sydney on a variety of topics related to environmental conservation, as well as at global events over Zoom and live platforms. So some recent topics of ours at School Talks include plastic pollution, eco footprints, and how to lower our carbon footprint as individuals and as a school. Seas of Change also runs a program called Ocean Views, which is where we interview other youth working within the conservation space to share their stories and advice to inspire others. You might even see you might know some of these people. They're on Instagram. This is Diego, and we've got Dyson there. You might have heard of them before. They live in Mexico and Hawaii, respectively. So some other highlights of the past 7.5 years include being an Ocean Youth Ambassador, attending Dr. Janet Langman's Dugong Health Checks in Queensland when I was 15, and getting a scholarship to attend the 2018 Ocean Heroes Bootcamp in Canada when I was 16. Separate from Seas of Change's programs and initiatives, I have also worked with multiple organizations and spoken at events across the world. A few of my favorite organizations to work with are the POP movement, for which I've spoken at many events, and Earth's Foundation, obviously, for which I have mentored students within their programs, and recently Seas of Change and Earth signed a contract, a partnership earlier this year, so I signed contracts earlier today. So that's been really great to be able to pair up with such an amazing organization doing amazing things. And then the third organization, I have like 3 favorite organizations to work with, is the Ocean Heroes Bootcamp, for which I've been lucky enough to be a squad leader for in 2020 and again this year. So I get told very often how it's incredible how I do so much, etc., etc. But we all only see what people choose to present. I absolutely love what I do, don't get me wrong, but it is extremely, extremely time consuming. It is really difficult and it's really stressful. It also took me a really, really long time, about 5 years, to get to a place where people recognize the work that I did, and even longer to be appreciated for it. in the past months, I've won some really exciting awards in Australia. As you can see, there's some photos from the awards there. This was really unexpected and never a goal that I had planned for. And I know I was actually speaking to Dr. Ash from the pop movement. Like, we're not at an age where we're looking for titles, and we're not at an age where we're looking for these awards and all of this. But I think for an organization to step out and give youth awards and to give youth ambassadorship roles and all of that is amazing. It really says something about an organization as well, because it helps legitimize us as a young people, because when we're conferencing with adults, it's not always the easiest thing. So just to have that legitimacy behind you, if it's like an award or working with an organization, or like you've attended NatCon, like just to have something behind you is such a great thing. I actually never had a plan for what I wanted to achieve with Seeds of Change. It has always been a passion project. So for anyone who is looking at doing something similar, my advice to you would just be to follow your passion and see where life takes you. I'm the type of person to plan my entire life, but I'm so grateful that I didn't plan anything with Seeds of Change, as it wouldn't have turned out half as great as it has. Everything just arose from hard work and meeting new people and not burning any bridges, as each opportunity has sustained over time and grown with me. This does make answering the question of where am I going to go and where do I see myself in 5 years a little bit difficult. But I like that, and I like that it's grown with me and that I can't predict what's happening. I've got goals for it, but I can't tell you what'll happen because I know it'll be completely different. And I think that's a really exciting thing about working in this industry. So I hope that explains a little bit about me and my journey. I'm happy to answer any questions at the end, but it's basically been quite a crazy whirlwind. I skipped over a lot of things, so that is a really short snapshot. But before we move on, what's the time? Yeah, so I'll give you guys a few seconds to stand, stretch, grab a drink. If you have any burning questions, put them in the chat. I just don't want anyone's legs to get like sore from sitting down. So grab a drink or like stretch your legs if you need to. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Okay. So I hope I've given people enough time to stretch their legs. But now we're going to move on to some of my advice and I guess tips, some things that I've learned in this industry. And one thing that I really like is learning from everyone, no matter if they're like 50 and they've been in this industry forever, or they're 10 and they're just starting. Everyone's got something to contribute to this discussion. And I think learning from people's mistakes is so valuable, because why make the same mistake as them? If they've made the mistake, learn from it. Don't make the same one. You can make a completely different one. But it's a learning process for everyone. So I think it's really great to share our experiences and our advice and what worked for us. And I really like how collaborative this industry is. So let's start by taking a look at youth leadership. Yeah, let me know if you can't hear me properly, because I can like switch to hotspot if there's like a Wi-Fi problem. So what is youth leadership? This is, I guess, something that we talk about often. We were like, oh, we're all youth leaders, but come down to the nuts and bolts and how are we going to define it? So for me, leadership comes in many forms, and many of us have had at least one role requiring us to step up and lead. So maybe let us know in the chat below what leadership roles you have or you have had. Give some people some ideas of maybe what they can look at achieving as well. So you might have been involved in leadership positions at your school, in sports teams. I know there's a lot of young people running this event, which is incredible. So there's so many different avenues to explore leadership. But to me, youth leadership refers to youth taking a stand and claiming responsibility. It refers to us working with a team to organize collective action to reach a common goal. In the environmental sphere, this might look a little bit different. To me, it means that we recognize that there is an issue. Step one, there is an issue. We can't deny it. The science says it. So yes, we recognize there is an issue. We now understand the facts from the experts. This is a really great thing, like best thing to do if you're starting out, educate yourself. It's hard to educate yourself because you have to be okay with being like, maybe I wasn't correct, and maybe challenging some of your views and ideas or what society's been telling you before. And sometimes that's really difficult, but we need to first of all recognize that there's a problem. Second of all, like we all are learning and we're all on a journey to learn as much as possible about this. And then third, we are all willing to create change and create action to ensure that the next generation can experience the same wonders of the ocean that we can. I think that's what brings us all together. So I guess some youth leaders that come to mind for me are School Strike, climate organizers, Greta Thunberg, Malati, and Isabel from Bye Bye Plastic Bags. The list goes on. You saw some in the Ocean Views. That pictures that I showed you before. There are so many people to look up to and aspire to be like or do something similar. So I guess then the question arises, can we all be youth leaders? So of course, you don't need to have a big platform. You don't need like, a massive 10,000 person organization behind you. Everyone has the ability to lead. However, we all lead in different ways, and we all lead for different causes that align with our passions. There is no limit to being capable of leading, and that includes age, experience, and skills. You're 100% capable of being a leader. So maybe put in the chat just to remind some people, if you can, what skills do you think we need to be a leader? Has anyone got any ideas? Maybe chuck them in the chat as a reminder for someone who's like a bit stuck. So personally, yes, empathy. That was actually my first one. Well done. So personally, I think we need empathy. I can't see any more, maybe we're just a bit shy. But some other ones that I thought of were organization skills, creativity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an artist. I can hardly draw a stick figure, but we need to be creative in how we problem solve. If you're like creative in like the arty way, all power to you. Artivism is amazing. But we also have responsibility and passion and purpose and all those things. Yes, the art of persuasion, the art of rhetoric. Yes, that is a really big one and something that's hard to learn. It's a skill to learn how to use your words, especially when talking to adults. So I guess being a leader is great, and it's somewhere to start, or maybe it's the end goal, depending on where you're up to. Communication, drive. Yes, I love all these ideas in the chat. Well done. Yeah, I think for me, the one thing is just having that drive, and I guess that's what sustained me for so long. But the thing is, having that drive is great, but it's not going to sustain you if we just stop there with those skills, or we just stop there with knowing that we're a leader. So we, as individuals who want to make a difference for environmental issues, need to find a cause that we are passionate about. Otherwise, having all those skills or being a leader isn't going to get us anywhere. Finding your passion sounds easy. However, at times being really specific so that you can create a goal is hard. If I could, I would try and solve all world problems, but it's probably not the best way to spend my time. So for me, my passion comes out of love. I love the ocean and marine life. And I've always been amazed by how different the oceans appear when I'm snorkeling. I also find my passion from a sense of injustice. I guess that's why I want to be a lawyer. I understand the negative changes being made. I understand that the negative changes happening have been caused and catalyzed by human inaction. And I want to break that cycle so that all generations will have the ability to enjoy our oceans. So that is how I find my passion. And I think that's a really great thing. Yes, I'm passionate about the oceans, but why? Find your why behind it. So from identifying this and educating myself, I realized how passionate I am about education. As to me, this is the way that I want to make change, and the way that I think is the starting point for everyone, and something that I want to be making change within. So if this is still something that you are unsure of, take a moment to think, you can take a moment now or after we're done, but take a moment and think, where does your passion come from and what are you passionate about? And that'll drive you to find your cause as well and your why behind all of this. So now we are all on our way to knowing exactly what our passion is. This will allow us to take out leadership roles that achieve a goal that aligns with our passion. But what does this mean? This actually leads us to our purpose. I have been on this journey for 7 or 8 years now, and it is not all easy going. To truly fight for what you believe, you need a purpose, because otherwise, when you are burnt out, it will be too easy to quit. After about a year on this journey, I took a break. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to achieve. I didn't know what I was working towards. And I think I might have just burnt out. I was moving into year 7, starting high school, and it just wasn't, I never had a plan, but I didn't have this clear why behind me, I guess. So this is what we don't want to happen. I got back onto the bandwagon after a few months because I had time to rethink what I was doing and realign with my goals. I think also starting at such a young age, I was bullied because of running a charity. I think when you do something a little different, go against the grain, you receive some backlash. So I guess for me, not having that clear purpose, being quite young, bullying, moving into high school, that's what I guess made me take a break for a little while. So to avoid this, I guess, make sure you think, have a think about what are your goals, what is your purpose, and what inspires you to make change. And also, I don't tell you about the bullying to scare anyone. I am so grateful that I've done this. I do not know what my life would be like without this. But I think I didn't have a brilliant team or support network around me, which is something that I'll talk about later. So that would be my advice to avoid that. So now we have our passion and we also have our purpose. But the next thing that as youth we need to find is we need to find our voice so that we can raise awareness and amplify our action. For me, I am not very outgoing. It probably seems otherwise in a talk. I have actually never liked public speaking. However, I have never ever had an issue talking about oceans or my work or something like that because I care so much about this issue. I'm so passionate about this issue. I want to raise my voice and I want to create change. So I didn't let that lack of confidence stop me. And that's why you've got to do all of those steps before and then find your voice. Because if you're building up on that, your passion, your purpose, then finding your voice is going to be a lot easier for you. I also think what helped me most, and I'll come back to this always, was educating myself. So for all of you, this is easy. You're all at NatCon, you're all taking a step into educating yourself, working in teams. So yeah, just grab hold of as much knowledge you can because this opportunity for you guys is amazing. And I wish an opportunity like this had been presented to me when I was younger. So as I said earlier, educating ourselves means that we know what we are saying is true. We know that it is supported by science. And this is also helpful when we receive backlash. It is inevitable. Not everyone's going to agree with us. This doesn't mean that everyone needs to be a public speaker. It just means that you need to find a platform to share your message in a way that you feel most comfortable. This may also require a bit of courage. So for many, this is social media, joining other organizations, etc., etc. So as youth, we already have boundaries, I guess, put in place for us. We already have boundaries put in place as we are often considered uneducated, and it is uncomfortable for people to learn new things and have their beliefs challenged. So finding a voice when this mindset is so common is not easy, but this is where your passion comes in. The key tool in activism is not education or organization, it is hope. To succeed, we need to have hope. We need to believe that there could be a better day. And I truly believe that as we grow and focus on our passions, we can all find our voice and work together to achieve change. I want us all to dream big and not let society box us in. There are so many ways to create action and raise our voices, and I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with. So now we have our passion and our purpose locked in. We are trying to find our voice. So what do we do when we are faced with challenges? In my opinion, there is no age limit for making a change, and I truly recommend all of you to take every opportunity to learn from others and networks so that you can pursue your passions. However, unfortunately, some people do not share this mindset of youth being able to make change. Oftentimes we are ignored because we are uneducated, or we're considered young, or people think we don't understand how the real world works. Our opinions are different, etc., etc. These are all false. Please never let anyone tell you this. Anyone working in the environmental field will face challenges, but as youth, we get faced with, I guess, more, and we get faced with unique challenges due to our age. And it is so upsetting and it's so frustrating to be downgraded due to your age. And I've been on the receiving end of many nasty comments from adults. But in this process of activism, you will grow a thick skin. But you also need to have the mindset of not letting one person's uneducated opinion put a stop to your work, because your work is completely backed by science. One way that I've learned how to think of it is, if adults really need to bring us down, if they really need to say nasty things about our success, then we actually have made an impact. We got them to think, we challenged their beliefs, and that's a good thing. We're planting that seed to help them maybe make that shift or change later down the line. So this doesn't mean that we sit around and believe that we are the most educated. We always need to have an open mind and make ourselves comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's the great thing about youth. We normally have quite an open mind when it comes to issues. We need to constantly learn from others and challenge our beliefs when necessary. So I guess those are like my top tips on how to start, but now my tips for how to continue. So we've got, like, we started, how do we keep growing in this? What's going to help us out? So my first tip is to work in teams. When I started, it was just me and it was a bit lonely. But now I work with 4 people full time and have others who volunteer as needed. This is great as it enables us to bounce ideas off each other and look at things from another's perspective. It is also really motivating to work in a team, as it makes us all accountable and we get to see that others share the same passions as us. It also means that we can shift the workload if someone's going through a tough time or we've got a bigger workload at school, and you have that community support. So if you do get backlash, you've got those people to come to and it's not just individual. I am also so grateful for my parents, because when I was 10 and I said, hey, I want to start a charity, they said, go for it. And I don't know many adults who would have said, yeah, sure. But my life would have been so different if they hadn't. I'm very grateful for that. So I think that just goes to show that having a support network around you that is separate from your team is also very important. So because I'm really passionate about education, I thought I'd just throw in some quick tips about educating. So first, how to educate within a classroom. I would say be aware of your audience and tailor your activities, language, and pictures for that. Year 1 versus year 7, completely different. Allocate Q&A time, as this is the most valuable for participants. Speak clearly and in an engaging manner. Remember that young kids won't sit and pay attention for longer than 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Move around on stage, be interactive, get them to put their hands up or play a guessing game, but don't get young kids out of their seats for short talks. It is way too hard to get them singing back down. So, educating at school might not be everyone's vibe, but what about if we wanted to just educate elsewhere and we're not in schools? So my top tips for that are, don't pick fights with people. It won't bring them to your side. It will just put them on the defense, and that's not what we want. So be aware of your language and your tone, and remember to educate with kindness. Growth does not come out of any other place. Don't waste your time on people who aren't going to change their mind. It is a waste of your time and your energy. Instead, start with people who are on the fence about the issue, as they will be the best to educate. Will also give others time to develop a more open mindset so that you can speak to them later on. In addition, remember that humans are selfish. If you are struggling to get your point across, make it selfish. Climate change, everything has drastic effects on that ethically we should want to change. Yet it also has so many effects on our livelihoods that may help to bring others into your cause and then interested in those ethical issues. If you are speaking to others, think first. You will probably underestimate just how impactful our emotions are in influencing and educating people. So that comes into that public speaking and using our voice. Be aware of your words and choose them wisely. So an example, I never truly understood the power of youth voices until a few years ago, when I spoke at my local government meeting in support of a motion to declare a climate emergency. Instead of overwhelming them with fact upon fact, I chose to share my thoughts, emotions, and fears. Among other things, I shared the IPCC predictions, which state that by the time I'm 27, climate change will be irreversible if we don't act now. I told them that at 27, I'll probably want to start a family, but that my children won't be able to marvel at the Great Barrier Reef like I did with my parents. They might not get to see all the animals that we get to see. Food security and natural disasters will threaten their every move. And that's not what I want for my children. And I don't want that for anyone. I don't want that for anyone now or in the future. After this 3-minute speech that I wrote the day of, I managed to receive a standing ovation and bring many in the rooms to tears. Safe to say the motion was passed. So I think this just goes to show that, and there's so many stories out there like this, but this just goes to show that our age, although a challenge, is our point of difference. It is a gift. We hold such an emotional pool that we can truly use to our advantage. We have the capacity to not only relate to our peers and work together on that level, but to encourage those older than us to act too, as most would morally want to do right by their children and grandchildren. Some final tips. I'd also recommend you find those organizations that genuinely support youth action and want the best for you, not to just make you a show pony for their work. For me, that has been the Ocean Heroes Bootcamp team. All the squad leaders, our friends, the team behind Ocean Heroes Bootcamp is wonderful and so supportive, and they genuinely want to help us succeed. As I said before, I also love this foundation and the pop movement. Get involved with them. I cannot stress enough how awesome. Like, there's a reason why these are my top 3 favorite organizations to work with. I cannot stress enough how amazing they are and how rare it is to find an organization like them who are purely for youth and is wanting to boost youth and to help youth. Finding that is not always easy, but once you find it, it is amazing. Keep it, stay with it. So you're at an event like this, you get to meet all of these people. So you might also be able to find out about some other ones that I don't even know about. But I'd really recommend finding those like-minded people because that'll help amplify your voice. My final tip is to support each other. We are also very lucky to live in such an interconnected world. One positive that has arisen from COVID is how we can connect online from all corners of the world. As youth are typically more au fait with technology, we can spark these international responses from our bedrooms by using social media and collaborating. We can use this to our advantage to reach out to others and ask for tips and advice. So often people try to run their own race and be competitive, forgetting that we are all working towards the same future. Networking is so undervalued. There are so many amazing people attending this event. There are so many amazing organizations supporting this event. And I'd highly recommend you reaching out and saying hi, because you might actually end up working together in the future. I know that sounds scary, but I personally love when people message or just to link up or to ask for some help. I'm always happy to answer questions and help people out on their journey, and I'm sure everyone else would be as well. So please never be scared to reach out to anyone. So that brings me to the end of my talk part today. We've now got plenty of time as promised for Q&A, so make sure to pop your questions into the chat, or you can if you put your hand up, there's like a hand up icon thing. If you put your hand up, you can request to turn your mic on and ask your question verbally if that's easier for you. And also, if you think of any questions that you want to ask later or you don't want to ask it in front of your friends, my contact details are all on the screen. Please don't be scared to reach out. I don't bite. I love hearing from everyone, and I would be more than happy to help you out on your journey and to support you in this industry. So that is all I have prepared for you guys. Does anyone have any questions? I think we have about 20 minutes to go. If you have any questions,
Shaurya, you can go ahead.
yeah.
Everybody can unmute, so like everyone can have questions.
My question was that is the organization only for a particular sea animal or the whole marine life?
My organization?
Yes.
Yes. So it started out as only for dugongs, but we've rebranded. So obviously Save the Dugongs wasn't the best name to expand under. So we rebranded to Seas of Change. So now it focuses on sea turtles, plastic pollution, climate change, dugongs, and then we're hoping to expand. I can't tell you what animals we're working on, but we're hoping to expand once we graduate. So I hope that answers your question. But yes, definitely more. And I think without specifying an animal, I think climate change and plastic pollution affects so many other animals that I guess, yeah. Yes, so thank you for the questions. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Summer. Do you plan on expanding your team of currently 4 members? I would love to expand my team. I love my team right now. They are my best friends and I love working with them. I also am very lucky to work with the Ocean Heroes Boot Camp and the pop movement and Earthers Foundation. So I guess in that way, I get to talk to a lot more people and work on different things as well. I would love to expand my team. We also have lots of people who write blog posts for us. But yeah, so I would love to expand. I don't know when that will happen, but yes, I think there was a couple of hands up. Who has a hand up?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Siddhant, go ahead.
So I wanted to ask, what was your first action on the field? I might have not heard it, but what was your first action on the field?
So I think like my first action would be running a fundraiser. I had prizes donated from SeaWorld Australia and I ran a competition and it was at my school. Trying to remember, it was a long time ago. It was at my school and we like separated for year groups. So there was like a prize for kindergarten, a prize for year 1 to 2, a prize for year 3 to 4, a prize for year 5 to 6. And they all had something they had to do. And it was like a gold coin entry. And then the top people who were chosen got the prize. And the prize was like a VIP pass to SeaWorld and everything on the Gold Coast, which was incredible. That they like just gave that to a 10-year-old to give out as prizes. So that was amazing. So I think that was like the first thing that we did. And then running more fundraisers, and we donate to Dr. Janet Lanyon, who's the top dugong researcher in Australia, and we donate directly to her so that we're bypassing some organizations like to take money out when you donate. So we bypass all of that by donating directly to researchers. I'll call on someone else.
I also had another question on that question. Should you start with awareness or action yourself?
I think everyone needs to start with awareness in the sense of you need to be educated to do something. If you don't know what the problem is, it's really hard when you hit backlash to then be like, oh, I need to defend myself. How do I defend myself right now? So everyone needs to start with awareness. I have worked in political, I've worked in like awareness, which is like sort of like individual action behavior. I haven't really done the business side of thing, but educate yourself and then choose where you want to go with that, whether that is, I want to do a specific action or I want to work on awareness within my community. Find what's a need within your community and then what you're passionate about. But I think finding that comes from awareness yourself. But thank you for your questions. Someone in the chat has said, why did you choose this particular problem? I guess there's a lot of problems that I think education, my mom's a teacher. I've always grown up with education. Knowledge is power. I love educating. I've worked as a tutor. I taught robotics since the age of 10. It's always been a really big thing for me. So that's why I chose education. I also, my mum grew up in the country and I used to hear these stories all the time of her with these animals. And I've always had dogs. I have 2 beautiful dogs and like 50 fish in a big tank. So pets and animals have always been a really big thing. And then I live 5 minutes away from the beach. So I guess all of that combined into why I chose this particular thing. I also don't see why people wouldn't want to. I don't see why it's controversial to ask for safe water, food, location, all of that. That shouldn't be controversial. So I guess that's what comes into it. Ishani, Roy, would you like to ask?
Yeah, I would like to ask if people didn't have the opportunity to educate themselves, but they still want to make a difference, what would they do?
Well, I think if you guys have access to the internet, which you all do, you have the opportunity to educate yourself. I am still in high school. Like, I don't have a university degree, but like we have Instagram, we have like all of the websites, you can Google things. Like, we all have the ability to educate ourselves by just reading articles and all of that sort of thing. So I think like that thing. But then also, if you're wanting to, I guess, education in another way to perceive education is like, we don't have the ability to like join a big thing. So if you want to start out, but you're not sure where to start, link up with an organization that's already started. There's no use reinventing the wheel if you don't need to. So you've got some great organizations that have partnered on this. You've got the Pop Movement and Irvis Foundation. So link up with others as well would be my recommendation, and just start small. As I said, never had a plan. Just let it go, see where it goes. So good luck there. If you need any help, message me because I'd love to help out. When you first started, is it best to start alone or with a team? I started alone and I now have a team, and having a team is the best thing in the world. It's like my baby because I started very young, and I'm like, I've been doing this for almost half my life now. So I guess sharing that with people was like hard because it's like my baby and I love it so much. If you have the opportunity to start with a team, when you're choosing your team, they need to be really reliable, really passionate people who have the same values as you. If you have the opportunity to start with a team, do it. It is amazing. Could not recommend it more. Okay. Have you watched Seaspiracy on Netflix? I have not watched Seaspiracy on Netflix, and I'll tell you why. I have a great chat with all of the Ocean Heroes squad leaders, and we were all talking about it, and they were saying it's great to start the conversation, but it missed a lot of key voices, and it missed, it could have, I guess, posed some organization in a better light. So I made the decision by reading all of the articles online and all the reviews to not watch it, because that was something that I was already educated on myself, and I thought missing out on those community voices, because fishing is also like really important for communities as well. So that was my personal decision. I think it's a great thing to start watching, like to watch all of those things, because they're great for raising awareness, but don't stop there. Keep moving, Google it, fact check everyone, that sort of thing. How should you start raising awareness about the problem? That is completely up to you. So find your niche, find what you love, find what you want to do, and then find also what your community is like lacking. I've done it in so many different ways over the past few years. You've got social media, blog posts, events, fundraisers, etc., etc. There's so many different ways that you can do it. Find what you want to do and what you're most passionate about. There's no one way to do it. I know so many people in this industry, and not a single one of us do the same thing. We're all working towards the same cause, but none of us are doing the same thing. And that's what's so great about it. You said you had a website when you were younger. Is it still active? If you have one too, yes, my website is still active. I will chuck it in the chat. seasofchange.com.au. There we go. Oh, hang on. I did that not to everyone. Sorry, it's rather hard to multitask on this. I will put my, there you go. Sorry to whoever I private messaged that to. How did you get interested in it? I think I already answered the interested in marine life. I live near the ocean. I love animals, that sort of thing. So is knowing more about the cause you're passionate about important? Yes, obviously we all start somewhere. And when I was 10 and I started, I did not know as much as I know now. And that's the nature of it. And I don't know, I know like 1% of the probably like 0.0001% of what you could know. And I love learning and constantly learning. But to start, know what you're talking about. Vague, do you have a question? You put your hand up. No, maybe not. Okay. How did you? Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I'm an organizer, but I have a question. So with like in India, the lockdown situation is still pretty bad. So what do you think people can do from their home itself?
Yeah. So I've been watching the Indian situation, and I'm really sorry for everyone there. We've been thinking about you. Fun facts: I'm actually in lockdown at the moment. I haven't been able to leave my house for like 2 weeks, so you can do it from your bedroom. I've had so many plans cancelled and so many events cancelled in the past couple like year or so because of COVID, and that's just the way it is. And we have to adapt and we have to move forward because we don't have a choice to do otherwise. So having online events, best thing ever, best way to start. Zoom, amazing. Find those online platforms that you want to share your message on, websites, Instagram, blogs, whatever it is, and connecting over Zoom and all of that sort of thing would be my recommendation. You can obviously, once we get to that post-COVID world, do so much else. But in this space, I think virtual events are a really great way to do things. And as an organizer, I think you should be very proud of this event because it's pretty amazing. Do you think with this rate you will be able to bring about a change in the future? I would like to think that I have brought about a change. I have spoken to thousands and thousands of young people in my couple of years focusing on education. And I think that brings about a change. You can plant a seed on their heart and start that spark. Fundraising makes a change. Dugongs are one of the most under-researched Australian animals. So just having the funds to be able to research them is incredible. Because we know so little about our oceans, and that's something that we should be wanting to learn more about. I think as youth, we're getting to the stage where our power is being recognized and our ability to make change is being recognized, and that is incredible. So I think we are definitely getting to a stage where change is being made. We're not at, will this happen? It is happening. We are making a change. Don't underestimate yourself. I know in Australia, there was a court case recently run by a group of youth to see if the Environment Minister had, it was like, do they have a role in protecting youth from climate change? And it came out with yes. And that was such a big thing to have recognized in law that our government needs to protect youth from the effects of climate change. And that's just one example of what youth have done. Sorry, there's so many things in the chat. Nowadays in the virtual world, there are lots of ways to spread awareness, but what methods can you use to raise funds? We over online have raised funds by, you can see these earrings that we wear. My aunt makes handmade earrings. So we sold handmade items and upcycled items on Instagram. Just like DM us, we'll send you our bank account details, you can transfer them through. I do admit it's hard to raise funds online when you're under 18. I turned 18 4 days ago. It's not easy because it's hard. You can't really get a bank account, you can't get PayPal and all of those things that you need. You can use like GoFundMe and all of that stuff, but I think it also depends on your community and how that works best for you. Which was the first animal that you rescued? I haven't personally rescued any animals. I have only just become old enough to do a single rescue course. I have visited a lot of animals. So the first, I saw a dugong in the wild for the first time when I was 15. I went on a research trip with them. That might be what you're referring to as like rescuing them. Females are not allowed to catch the dugongs because they're very, very big and they give you concussions. But I was there and got to help take samples and do all the stuff there. I've also visited the Australian Seabird Rescue, who rescues turtles and pelicans and everything, and seen all of them. That was quite amazing. The plastic pollution situation in Australia is not ideal. I don't think the plastic pollution situation is ideal anywhere in the world. Our beaches could be cleaner, and I think it might not be as bad where I live, because we live so close to the beach so we can see it. I think inland it could be worse, I don't know. But government-wise, policy-wise, needs a lot of work. How have you been able to make change outside of Australia? As I said, I have been extraordinarily lucky to work with lots of, I will come to the 3 hands up after this, don't worry. I've been very lucky to work with lots of global organizations. So I've worked with the Pop Movement, Urbis Foundation, Ocean Heroes Boot Camp, which is run by Lonely Whale, and Clapton Planet Foundation. Last week I spoke at a conference for a bunch of Americans, like so many things. So I think that's my way currently of making change. I can't fly anywhere, I can't go anywhere, online, virtual conferences, but also websites, social media, we have the ability to educate people globally as well. So first person on my screen with the hand up is
okay, I think a few people raised their hands, so we'll do that.
Pardon?
I think some people have raised their hands, so we'll go there next.
Yes, I've just asked someone to unmute.
Yes, Mihir, do you have a question?
Oh yeah, that was me. Sorry. So one of the things which me and the other organizers love to complain about is how climate change is sort of taught at schools, because we learn about all the facts and stuff, but I think they keep repeating it to the point where a lot of people just stop caring. They become desensitized to the effects of climate change. And so I was just wondering, you've been doing this, you've been raising awareness and helping out many causes for years now, but how do you keep it fresh is sort of what I'm saying. How do you keep people interested? How do you sort of make sure that people begin to care enough about climate change to actually do something?
Yeah, I think that's like a very hard thing, I guess, to find as well. And also it's great that you are learning about climate change at school, because I have never learned about climate change at school unless it was a project that I chose to do. So that is great. It might be repetitive, but at least we're starting. We are nowhere near as much as we should be for climate education globally, but we will get there eventually. I think I have the advantage of coming into a school where I'm not the school teacher. I'm not the person you see every single day. I'm not coming in and it's like, oh, Miss is going to tell me again. I'm coming in as someone who is your age or close to your age, who is very passionate. I can walk around on the stage, I can play games with you and do all of this stuff, and answer everyone's questions and also share my experiences, because personally, I find a talk or education way more engaging when someone can come in and say, oh my gosh, I did this, and like give people something to aspire to as well. So I guess that's sort of how I keep it fresh. I keep my information up to date. I have an amazing one of my team members. Her name is Mel. Incredible graphic designer. She makes all of our PowerPoints. She did not make the PowerPoint today, so I'm sorry if it wasn't that great. But she makes all the PowerPoints for schools and educating, and she also makes all of our Instagram graphics and all of that stuff. So having colorfuls and colors and being engaging and having like graphics and stuff is also a great way. I focus a lot on young kids, so that also helps with like games and all of that. But I think when you're coming into a school as someone who's not normally at a school, it's easier to get people's attention. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Let me know if I didn't. Next person, I see that you've unmuted yourself. What is your question? Ira?
How much plastic pollution can you reduce in a month?
How much plastic pollution? I have no idea. That is completely an individual thing. We as individuals eat a credit card worth of plastic each week. How much plastic you can reduce each month, completely up to you. My challenge to you guys would be that it is the 18th of July, and it is currently Plastic Free July. So Plastic Free July, if you have not heard of it before, it's a great organization that encourages people to go plastic free for the month of July. Or if you don't want to go plastic free for the month of July, start somewhere in like getting rid of like the top 4 plastic items, so straws, bottles, bags, and coffee cups. So like stopping using those, starting that challenge, but that is completely individual to how you want to do it and what your circumstances are. Have you ever felt a connection with one of the animals that you've rescued? I love my job, so my job is my favorite thing to do. I say job, my volunteer job. So like any photo of me doing this is when I look happiest. It is my absolute favorite thing to do in the entire world. So I guess getting to see animals rescued and healthy is so exciting, but it's also really upsetting because unfortunately some of the turtles that I have met have passed away because of what's happened to them because of human actions. So I guess you have that connection. The dugong that was named after me is also very special to me because I've always wanted to work with dugongs for so long. There's actually not many dugongs in captivity in the entire world. There's like maximum 4 dugongs in captivity in the entire world. But in Sydney, at the aquarium, there's actually a dugong, and his name is Pig, and he is the funniest thing ever. He is not in captivity for any reason except for the fact that he was rescued, released, and then re-rescued and can no longer go back into the ocean, otherwise he will die. He doesn't have the skills, he just doesn't function the way that dugongs need to function for survival, I guess. So his best survival chance is in an aquarium. They have released him before, just to preface. But he is very, very fun and great, and I love working with him. He's quite naughty. He has quite a character. He's quite a character. And our final question is, and then I will promise we'll stop. How did you feel when it wasn't very easy in your journey and people weren't listening to you? Did you ever feel like giving up? I'm very stubborn and very persistent. I don't give up very easily. But I think it's not the nicest feeling when people don't listen to you, when you're like, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't know if I'm doing it well. But that's why it comes back to that purpose and that why. And sometimes I do take a break for a couple of weeks where I'm not like going full blown, because I admit when I've got a week where I've got meetings up till midnight and I'm starting filming at like 5 a.m. in the morning, I am exhausted and it tires me out. And you sometimes just say, okay, I'm just going to take a little break over the weekend. And I just won't reply to my emails for a couple of days. And that's okay. You can't always be on. So like giving yourself a break, being kind to yourself, doing those self-care things, I think as well. I don't think I've ever felt like giving up because it's something that I'm so passionate about. And that's why I said finding your passion and purpose, first thing to do, most important thing to do if you have your why behind you. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many times you're like crying over how stressed you are, it's okay, it'll get there. It's always good in the end. So thank you so much for having me here today. If I didn't have a chance to answer one of your questions, you guys also my contact details. You're all welcome to message me on Instagram or from my website. There's a contact form on my website. I have loved answering all your questions and I'm very excited to see where all of you go with this. So do keep me updated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steph. That was truly amazing and inspiring. And also, when you were talking about having people we aspire to be like, I think I speak for a lot of us here. You are definitely someone we look up to.
And I couldn't agree with Zoya more. And the way you started this at such a young age is really inspirational. Everyone, let's have a round of applause for Stephanie Evans. Make it as big as possible.
Yes, everyone, let's have the claps coming in. And also, the time is here. It's time for the final debate round.
What we have done for the debate is slightly different this time. We have given each team a situation and assigned them a stakeholder. Each debate consists of 3 teams and they must defend and they must debate to defend their case. Kind of like how Ross kept saying we were on a break for like 2 seasons.
I think, Arya, this is not the time for a Friends reference, but I'm sure the debate finalists are going to come up with better defenses than that.
Okay, but his defense was absolutely valid. So
no, but I think no.
Let's do this later. Okay, guys, so we'll be sending you the debate topic in mails to all of you, the attendees as well. And you can conduct your research for the next 30 minutes while the finalists also do so, and take any stance you want to. And then you can then watch the YouTube stream, which will be going on, and you can get to watch all the debates going on at the same time, and put your points in the meeting chat as well while watching the final debates. So stay in this meeting while we send you the topics, and see you in a while.
Yeah, see you in 10 minutes, everyone. We'll be starting soon.
Excuse me.
Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. Now we're going to start the debate finals in a little bit after the teams prepare and research. And I've put the debate topic in the chat box. It's a Google document, so you can access it and view the topics. And once you're done researching about the topic, you can decide what you stand for and put your opinions down in the chat box. And we're also sending you the YouTube link for both the debates, so you can decide which one you want to watch, or you can keep switching between them. But make sure you stay on this meeting as well, since we have the activities coming up and then we have the award ceremonies coming up. So make sure you stay here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We can hear you, Dr. Ash. Okay, now we can't. Okay, I think he's dropped out of the call. I think that was a really interesting presentation. Well done. I think y'all had come a little prepared, well prepared, in fact. And it's interesting how y'all have talked about that you want to make an agriculture land out of it. And I think the biggest question with any abandoned mine is the question of like restoring it and whether it is safe to use it for the purpose of agriculture. So I think that's something that requires deep research, and I'd be interested to see what you all come up with going forward in terms of what tools and techniques would be needed to restore the land for agricultural purposes, because contamination can be something that can persist in layers underground. So that's something we need to look at. So I'd be interested in knowing that. I don't know if Komal had any thoughts. But well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to the team. That was really a nice presentation, and I really like the idea how you're trying to use the coal mines to the reforestation. Yes, I agree with Priyanka. The presentation requires more research, and we would be very happy to know the next steps of this project. So I think it would be great if we could connect again and look for the next steps.
Thank you so much for the feedback.
So thank you so much, guys. Does any other judge have anything to say?
Yeah, I don't know if this line's working, but I just wanted to say I thought it was a beautifully presented idea, and I just want to echo the thoughts of the previous judges who spoke previously to say that it would be fantastic to see how your research evolves, and I wondered if you intended to implement this idea going forward. So love to hear from you, and thank you once again.
Okay, so thank you so much, judges, and thank you so much, guys, for that presentation. Our next team is Siddhant, Kavya, Mihika, Tanisha, and Krisha from Team 15. So you guys can start presenting now.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen.
Great.
Good evening, everyone. We are Team 15, and we will be explaining our solution, Black J. We named it up because District 12 in the Hunger Games is known for coal, and so the word black, and J because of the Mockingjay.
Just a second. There's a small issue. Just a second. Sorry for the.
It's fine. Take your time.
Yeah. Now can you see the presentation?
Yeah. So the problem. Yeah. So the problem, the danger is posed by abandoned coal mines, which are subsidence, blasting caps, and other undetonated explosives. Black dam, which is an asphyxiant available oxygen content of air to a level incapable of sustaining human or animal life, accumulating in old mines, which can cause suffocation. and hidden mine shafts, which are vertical or near vertical tunnels, often hidden beneath bushes and grasses and other vegetation that has grown up around the mine entrance. Our solution is we are creating an underground hotel with a farm, garden, restaurant, rooms, and to show the life of the past, the room.
So how will we build back, Jay? Well, first we have to get investors on board, possibly the government, so that we have enough money to first be able to invest money into the Black Jay. After that, we have to dig a lot so that we have enough space for our plan. After that, we will be using vermiculture and human waste to enrich the soil over there. Now, we will also be pumping in air so that the plants can breathe and human life. Soon after, we will start farming on a quarter of the land. Then we'll be sealing half of the area using concrete and start creating infrastructure over there. Using this infrastructure, we will be starting the truce and the hotel over there. Now, what are the exclusive features of the farming? Well, first we have rainwater capture to use water for the farm and the hotel. And in case of deserts or any areas where rainwater is not that usable, we can use pipes to access faraway water resources or even water resources that are under the ground. This will allow us, after testing and purification of that water, we can use that water for the hotel and the farm. We will also be using the drip irrigation technique. That means there will be less water required for farming all of the plants. Now, what about the hotel? We can use Mobi tubes or tubes that are made out of reinforced glass for people to observe the area around them and not get in touch with the coal or any other toxin. There will also be coal mine tubes so that they can see the past. At that point, coal mines would be abandoned and coal mining would not be there at all. Instead, renewable energy, etc., would be there. Coal mines, however, would be a thing of the past, so we can tour them. Artificial lakes can also be created in the area for beautification and also functioning. Thank you. The inspirations we got for this project were from a project that is happening to use coal mines for farming and also a luxury hotel that was built in China in a coal mine. These are the credits for all of the images. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. That was actually a really good presentation. And thank you, Team 15. Now, Georges, over to you for questions.
Yeah, I think it was, again, an amazing presentation, a very unique idea from what we've heard so far, so congratulations. Yes, of course, a few concerns, which would be that you did cite that there's already a hotel that's been made in China. So have you done some research in terms of how they try to remove the contamination with respect to the air, and also in terms of the nearby water sources? And in addition to that, the next question I had was, is building a hotel a sustainable option, or do you think there could be some contributions of the hotel in negative sense to the environment? Because at the end of the day, we want to have that space to be sustainable. So do you feel there could be some kind of negative impact on the environment from building a hotel there? And is it safe for the people to be in that environment? So these are some things I'm interested in knowing. I don't know if you've already done your research.
Okay, so first about the luxury hotel that was created in China and a coal mine. They were not using like an underground coal mine, but instead the ones that are open aired, which are not the ones that go underground and tunneling. So that was not really part of our solution. Second thing, for about the negative effects of our hotel on the environment, we will also be using a quarter of that land to create habitats for animals. And in case anything goes wrong and it gets abandoned, we will properly break down the hotel and put in soil, etc., so that life can continue living over there. Yes.
Thank you, Siddhant, and congratulations. I think I'd love to hear. I think you all could definitely do more research. It'll be an interesting project to hear about. So thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much again, Team 15. Our next team is Nikhil, Riddhi, Tanvi, Smayan, and Aditya from Team 8. The stage is all yours.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen.
Great.
Yeah, can you see?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Good evening, dear judges, teachers, and my dear friends. My name is Nikhil Vaidya, and I am representing Team 8 from Vidyavadi School. My team members include Riddhi Chitnis, Smayan Navalaka, Tanvi Salikar, and Aditya Rane.
We would like to thank the organizers of NatCon for giving us this opportunity to learn and discuss about this important environmental issue. As we know, the world has moved on from non-renewable coal to more sustainable energy sources. Therefore, many coal mines are being abandoned. Abandoned mines are a very important global concern as they pose real or potential threats to human safety and health as well as environmental damages.
We need to take actions to transform these abandoned mines so that they beautify the landscape, stop polluting the environment, and become a source of economic benefit to our community. Many people worldwide have already utilized these abandoned mines in many ways, such as making it into an underground theme park, a concert venue, and a racetrack as well. As a team, we discussed various options. Our objective was to come up with a solution which is sustainable, has a positive impact on the surroundings, generates revenue, and can be enjoyed by a greater segment of the population. Based on this objective, we thought of transforming the coal mines into botanical gardens.
Imagine converting a barren coal mine looking like this into a beautiful garden displaying the best variety of plants and flowers of the local geography to the world. Imagine the number of tourists walking through amazed by the beauty of the rich biodiversity of the region. What was initially a liability can be converted into an asset. You may ask how these gardens are beneficial towards the environment and the community. Botanical gardens definitely have lots of benefits, the top three being
Protecting the environment. Public gardens help the environment in multiple ways. They conserve endangered plant species through lion collection, and they benefit pollinators such as butterflies, honeybees, birds, and bats, which play an important role in the production of our crops. Plus, green spaces help filter pollutants in air and lower the temperature.
promoting mental health. Numerous studies have shown that being outside is good for our mental health, memory, and attention. A study by researchers at Stanford University have found out that a 90-minute walk in a natural setting reduced activity in an area of the brain linked to the mental illness and stressful events such as losing a job.
Third, keeping people active. These gardens are a great place to get some exercise and stay physically fit. I would like to conclude our presentation by quoting Sir David Attenborough. The future of humanity and indeed all life on earth depends on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Judges, your 2 minutes for questions start now, or any other feedback.
Okay, so very nice presentation, team. So the only question I have is, did you research about how can you create this biodiversity garden? Like how can you convert this into the biodiversity garden or a botanical garden?
Could you repeat?
How can you convert this coal mine, abandoned coal mine, into the botanical garden? Did you do some research about it?
So obviously, coal mines are they're abandoned. So and they're very spacious and they're very big. So with some, we actually didn't do a lot of research on this. We have actually taken some inspiration from some sites online, doing all these like underground theme parks. So then we thought, why not just convert it into a botanical garden? Because we know that botanical gardens are also beneficial to the environment in many ways.
Thank you. Pranka and Aprash.
Yeah, I think really nice presentation, but a couple of things I think like Komal asked, it's a very valid question. Is you will have to first understand how. because one of the biggest issues with coal mines is the restoration of these coal mines into being something that's suitable for life in agriculture and farming. So that's definitely, and you can also maybe research about if there are any existing coal mines that have been converted into botanical gardens, or I don't know if you all have done that research. But other than that, it's a very interesting idea, and you should definitely look into it further. So well done.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Joshua, and thank you so much, Team 8. Our next team is Natasha and Ananya, Raghav, Ariman, and Hemang from Team 2. You can start your presentation now.
Yes. Can you see my presentation?
Not yet, but I think it'll load.
It doesn't show up yet.
Now?
No, it's there.
Yeah, you can see it clearly?
Yep.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. We are activity group number 2, representing Vidya Valley School. And our group name is Resourcing the Resources. So today we will be talking about underground farming, terrace farming, research storage, and a site for collecting bio-waste. Raghav?
Underground farming. The advantages of underground farming are that the crops grown are chemical free, they produce minimal waste, require lesser water, and produce a higher yield in less space because we will be using the process of vertical farming. It reduces the methane and carbon dioxide levels produced in abandoned mines. The plants being underground are unaffected by extreme weather, climatic changes, and irregular seasons. The crops would have to be grown by hydroponics or aeroponics as the mines do not often have a water supply. Lighting will be from LED or fluorescent bulbs as they are both economical and are already being used as artificial lighting for growing indoor plants.
Aryaman?
Yeah, I'll be speaking about terrace farming now. Okay, so some open to air mines can be used for terrace farming. The natural contour and slope of the land are ideal for this type of farming. This idea helps the environment as it absorbs the carbon dioxide and the methane produced by the abandoned mines. It also helps in stopping the soil erosion. Terrace farming also helps the community as the site can be used to grow commercial crops and food grains. It helps produce more food, decreases cost, and increases the national wealth. It also slows down water runoff and helps in water conservation. So it's a win-win.
Research and data centers. There are many tremendous new discoveries which are the outcome of fruitful and persistent researches. All of these researches have to be stored or excavated mines are the right thing. These mines further can be sealed on all the sites to prevent leakages or any sort of damage to the equipments. Steel is by far the most withstandable material to seal the mines and protect the research inside from any natural calamities. Ananya?
Yes. So, does anyone know what biodegradable waste is?
You have 30 seconds left. So.
Okay. Biodegradable waste is simply any matter that will break down without harming the environment and can be decomposed to make manure. When this breaks down, it breaks down into carbon dioxide, small amounts of water, etc., which can be used in abandoned mines as they help in the restoration of an ecosystem that could have been in that layer and to restore the health of Earth. It will also serve as a perfect environment for plant growth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Georges, Dr. Ash, do you have anything to say to this or any questions?
Dr. Ash, any comments? I don't know if he's here. Komal, if you want to go first. Josh.
Okay, yeah, again, a very good presentation. I really like the idea, like how you were trying to maintain so many things in such with the gold mines. The only point I felt that your project requires a lot more research because I don't know, but if Pranka felt the same, but I personally felt that you're mixing up so many things together. So I think it would be great, like if you take one by one each thing, and then you can do more research about each single idea. That would be built up onto your idea very well. So yeah, Pranka, you can go.
Yeah, I think again, a really nice presentation. Y'all did a lot of research in a very short time, looks like. So that's first thing to congratulate you on. Definitely agree with Komal. I think sometimes it's easier when we pick up one area and try to delve deeper into it, understand what are some of the existing solutions out there, what all does it require, and what is the most feasible option for the coal mine and the community living nearby. So a lot of factors you can consider, and then see what option would work best of the 4-5 that you've chosen, and then maybe research deeper. So that would also just be my suggestion.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you so much, Georges, and thank you so much, Team 2, for that amazing presentation. Now we have Rishabh, Rujila, and Shlok from Team 12.
Okay, just a second. I'm just sharing my screen.
Yes. Take your time.
So is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay. So our idea is titled Underground Safety Facilities, or in short, USFs. So our idea, like first, I just want to clarify. So like, since mining is like a big topic, when we're talking about mining, there's like surface mining and then underground mining, which surface mining is usually less than 200 feet underground. So we came up with like kind of two solutions. So like for surface mining, it's a lot more easier to handle because you can easily cover with soil and place trees or use it for farming. But our idea focuses more on underground farming, which underground mining, which is a lot more deeper. So our idea is basically we should use the old mines as underground facilities in case of extreme weather events like hurricanes and heat waves. And basically these facilities could have enough space to accommodate people living in the nearby locations, and it can save many lives from being caused at the hands of natural disasters. So why we should do it in the first place is because climate change, like is being discussed, like is causing lots of drastic problems, and we've already started noticing some of them, like heat waves and extreme flooding. And since we're already seeing those signs, it's becoming more difficult to manage these disasters because they're becoming more extreme, and that leads to more lives being caused. So while discussions and debates, those are really important in learning how to stop climate change, like I think we have to focus on mitigating climate change and learning to adapt to our current situation so that we can also prevent lives from being lost right now. And that's why we think this is a great solution, because it can help um, people when during disaster situations in a lot more easier way than how it's being currently done. And depending on mining like where the mines are located, um, some mines have cooler air temperatures than the surface. So during heat waves, it can really help protect people from the extreme heat conditions that they might face at the surfaces. And hurricanes and floods and storms, they can also be avoided because we could construct to seal the mining facilities in a way that the flooding does not affect the people who go there for safety. And construction is also a much more simpler task because majority of the mines are already built. So what we really just need to do is making sure that they're more secured by renovating them and making sure they're strong enough and building more tunnels if necessary based on the population. And this also reduces stress on materials which are needed to build new facilities, and that can reduce impacts on resource management.
So how can we do it and what kind of facilities would be present? Transportation already exists in mines, as we know, especially underground mines, since they're thousands of feet underground. So getting resources and materials to and from these bunkers or USFs, as we call them, would be very easy because of these existing elevators and shafts. Also, several bunkers could be built through one entrance. So we could have like a mini society or like a mini city, sort of. So typically, bunkers will have living quarters, food storage areas, dumps, data storage areas, etc. These bunkers can function just like above ground living areas or houses, basically. They come with water pumps providing clean water and also ventilation, like air filter, so that we don't breathe in bad air, I guess. So fans are used to pull air through a nuclear, chemical, and biological filter system. So this kind of system has been used in the World War II. So it's completely safe, and we already have like the science theory, whatever, behind it. A plus point is that these filters can also protect you from radioactive debris. For larger mines, as I said earlier, we could build a city of bunkers, just like a normal city with different facilities and institutions like hospitals, schools, possibly even universities, except it would all be underground. So a typical bunker costs, or a USF, costs anywhere from 30,000 US dollars to more than $1 million, depending on the number of people it can house and like the type of facilities that it has. And obviously, they have more functions as the price range goes higher. So, for example, a 40,000 bunker can house 3 people with a bathroom, a food storage area, or a kitchen, bedrooms, etc., while a $75,000 bunker could house possibly 5 people and have a separate room to grow plants with a separate customizable ventilation system that can be controlled by the owners. If the price range increases ever so slightly to above 100,000, we could even be seeing all of these things along with guest rooms, a private gym, theaters, etc. So we would be entertained and safe from an apocalypse.
Guys, you have 30 seconds left.
And the risks and certain issues of doing so. So abandoned mines can create a number of health problems and environmental threats because of the accumulation of hazards and explosive gases due to the lack of air circulation in the air galleries, as well as they also contain unstable structures that can create unsafe conditions in the area that can lead to many accidents. So there are chances of it collapsing because of the unstable structures, and this could be even during and even after the construction. Even with some renovation, there still are chances of it happening. And then annually, they would need to get their items uncontaminated and may need to rebuild some structures just in case there were contaminations. So they would need to be cleared. This is going to be expensive. Even though this is an important and necessary process, it would still need to cost a lot of money while being repeated for years.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Now the judges, you guys, if you have any comments or any feedback, you can feel free to go ahead.
Does Dr. Ash want to go first? If he's here.
I'm having a little trouble with audio. I'm not sure if it's working right now.
We can hear you, Dr. Ash.
Okay. So first off, let me congratulate you guys And I find it really stunning that in a matter of like minutes, you guys can turn out such mind-blowing stuff. I just wondered what. Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay. I think he's dropped out of the call. Komal, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Please go ahead, Priyanka. I think Dr. Ash is back, but yeah.
He's back? Okay. Yeah, then he can continue.
He's again dropped out of the call. You can go ahead, Priyanka.
Okay. So yeah, I think this is a great presentation. Congratulations. It's a very interesting idea. Again, very similar question that I think I'd asked one of the teams before was what would be the use of the bunkers if, say, there's no disaster, or would they just be there? That was one. And you all also talked about the cost of setting up these bunkers. So have you all also considered the cost of, say, restoration, decontamination, and all of that? Is that something you researched as well? Just these two questions. Otherwise, great research done. And I'm happy you'll address the challenges as well. It's good that you've also explored that area. So congratulations.
Thank you. For the first question, I can say that, I mean, these are going to be fully functioning houses basically, because they're going to be underground. So people could live in them just like people would live above ground. So it's not like we would only be using them during an apocalypse or like a very extreme natural disaster. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there is that question: would people want to live underground? But it's a very interesting idea. I feel like I would personally live underground. It sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah, in the second question, could you repeat the second question? Sorry.
You talked about the cost of setting up these bunkers. So did you also research into the cost of restoration and decontamination of an area like an abandoned coal mine? Because you know the kind of hazard it comes with. So was that also something that you explored?
For now, we only considered about the building costs of the USFs. We didn't really do a lot of research in the background of what the mine is going to be like, because every mine is in a different condition. Some were dug newly and then others were a lot older. And so that really depends on the mine itself. So like we didn't really go deep into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Team 12. We now have our second last presentation, which is a two-person team, Athmik and Sarthak, Team 17. But unfortunately, Sarthak isn't here with us today, so only Athmik will be presenting.
Yes, thank you. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
All right. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, nature will prevail. It will reclaim. Humans destroy, nature creates. But when we go too far, there's nothing but destruction. That is what happens when humans destroy. We dig and dig for precious material, but if left abandoned, it becomes disastrous. This problem was given to us to restore an open coal mine. Our solution is to restore, landscape, and reclaim. Now, here is an in-depth explanation of our solution. Many governments are also trying to restore mines like this, underground or even open mines like ours. How would you do it? Here are a few examples. Germany is trying to convert coal mines into a giant battery storage for solar and wind power. Europe is trying to convert its coal mines into natural gas storage areas. But plans are still flawed.
like the United Kingdom's plans to use fracking to break bedrock and use geothermal energy. Although this is flawed, even if one thing goes wrong, it could be disastrous for the UK. Batteries are the most universal and best option. First of all, manufacturing them would be cheap and easy. All the compounds are already present in the abandoned coal mines, and by extracting those toxic chemicals, we can make the mines less poisonous. Not to mention the single most important advantage of the battery storage of energy. Batteries can help corporations and governments to reliably invest in renewables, using the residue from the coal mines to make batteries for the environment is a big step towards the environment, simply because it promotes renewables. But we can do a lot more than a battery. We can make a park. Took us extensive research and reading through environmental science books to find our solution. We decided that the best way to reuse this mine was to make it a national park. And through this, we can teach tourists the ill effects of mining, climate change, and non-renewable energy sources. Here are a few steps to complete this restoration. Number 1. Landfilling a mine will use the waste we will use the waste and the overburden from the mining process to fill up the open mine. Number 2, rehabilitation. In this, we will bring back native plants and animals. Number 3, landscaping in the mine would result in a more plant-friendly mine. The land becomes more natural by adding bumps and hills to make the spot more attractive to tourists. Number 4, the economy. Our project helps the overall economy because we will be hiring people from villages nearby who were previously miners at the same place. Overall, our project helps the economy, community, and the environment. In our park, we will be planning on adding water bodies around the designated locations in the park. We
Athvik, you
can
have
take
30 seconds left.
advantage.
You have 30
Okay.
seconds.
We can take advantage of this by adding hydroelectric turbines. We will add many more power sources like wind turbines around the park. And the backup source is biomass, wherein we will burn plants for heat and energy. Here are a few sites and books that we used for our research, like bbc.com, ecowatch.com, and an Oxford EVM book by John Pallister. This is our solution for the abandoned coal mines, and we wish to raise awareness of these problems and climate change in general. These problems, when taken too far, can cause significant disastrous impacts. If we ever get to implement them, we hope we can make a difference. Thank you for listening. We are now open for questions.
That was a
Yeah.
great presentation, Athvik. Any judges can ask any questions or feedback.
If we have Dr. Ash back.
Yeah, I am back, and I've switched device, so I hope this is gonna stick around now. In terms of the connection, I just wanted to say that was really fabulous, and I also wanted to comment on the previous presentation to say the same. For both of you, actually, my question really is, I'm wondering what your inclination in terms of taking this idea forward is. So I'm just really keen to understand. I think these ideas are fabulous. You've come up with them in a short period of time, and I wondered if you had any reflections for the future. Thank you.
Would you mean like what ideas we would give for future generations to take forward, or?
in terms of this idea that you proposed? Like, what are your reflections for taking this forward, going, from here on out?
I think this would be a great solution to teach the upcoming generations as well as us and the people who are currently here how to change their lifestyle and what the previous to show them how the mines used to look and how we were destroying the planet and then showing them how we can change. I feel like that could leave an impact in their brain to show how much of change has happened over the period of time, and that we seriously need to take action towards problems like climate change. And I feel like it'll stay with them until they grow up, that they need to remember to stay sustainable. Otherwise, there is not going to be any future.
Terrific. Thank you for sharing. And my heartiest congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ash. We now have this. Okay, so it has just come to our notice that there was one team who wasn't present here yesterday, but they are here today. And that is, okay, so that's team 13, Manasvita, Advita, Ananya, and Sanhita. And only Advita will be presenting, but over to you. Judges, I think there'll be a problem in the marking sheet because of this, but you can call us after.
Should I present my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, hi, sorry, I think I disconnected. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So, unfortunately, my teammates aren't available right now. So I'll be presenting on our behalf, specifically Manasvita and I. So the prompt that we were given was, as the world moves from non-renewable coal to sustainable energy sources, more and more coal mines are left abandoned. And obviously this is creating a lot of problems because there's so much unused space. So we had to find a way to utilize these mines to benefit the environment and or the community. So what we came up with was, we can use these mining holes, which are right now not being used for anything, to generate renewable electricity. And that what this does is that it'll just power the effort towards, it'll power the steps that we're all trying to take towards renewable energy. Because right now, a very small percentage of the world's energy is produced through renewables. And what this is trying to do is trying to increase that. So how this would work is, falling water caused by gravity into those mining holes can be used to spin a turbine. Basically, mechanical energy will be used here. And then the spinning turbine will turn a central shaft, which rotates a magnet inside a copper wire. And then as the magnet rotates, its magnetic field causes electrons in the copper wire to move around, which produces an electrical current, which is obviously known as electricity. This electricity can be used directly to power something or something stored in batteries. And the best part about this is that a huge community can benefit from this, communities around, because there's also there's so much electricity shortage. And what this will do is it'll also provide electricity to the surroundings. So it's beneficial both environmentally and socially. And it contributes to, like I said earlier, to our efforts as a world to take the step towards renewable energy and really transition into the modern world with ecological technologies in our fists. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Advita. Do the judges have any questions or any feedback?
Komal, you want to go first?
That was really a nice presentation, Advita, and I really like the idea how you are using turbines in the to create the electricity, to generate the electricity in the gold mines, which is very unique, and it's very easy to implement it, and without any harm. Like, we really don't need to think about the other ways, like how we can cause destruction by just creating something new. So I really like your idea. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll have the final presentation as an activity. The team is Sarah Shah. She'll be presenting. And unfortunately, yesterday they had a few internet issues and weren't able to present. So we have Sarah, Ved, and Aurav, who are team 14. So over to you guys. And with that is the final presentation of the activity.
Good evening, judges. I am Sarah Shah. I am Sarah Shah from Indus International School, Pune.
Good evening, judges. My name is Arav Kolte and I'm from Vidya Valley School.
Good evening, judges. I'm Ved.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present our idea. I will now share screen and would like you to watch the video we will present.
We thought of rehabilitating mines for the following reasons. Firstly, the damage caused by mining is beyond repairs, but we must try to give back to nature as much as we took or closer to what we took because natural resources are limited.
At times, we tend to make insensitive choices without knowing or thinking. We don't realize that we're doing something that will have a bad impact on the environment. So it's best to make choices that will benefit the environment and the local population.
We can try and restore the ecosystem to create habitats for wildlife, as they are a vital part of our ecosystem. Green vegetation helps us reduce carbon from the atmosphere, and as more forests are cut down, we need more green cover on our planet to reduce the concentration of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. The restored green cover can become a source of livelihood for the local population. With that, we are done with our presentation and are now open for questions.
Thank you so much, Sarah, Ved, and Aurav. That was an amazing video. Do the judges have any questions or any remarks?
Dr. Ash, if you want to go first.
I thought it was a really creative presentation. You guys provided a fantastic overview, and I love the video. So thank you for putting that together and for sharing. I appreciate it very much, and congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, I think it was a very nice presentation. It's the fact that you put up a video in such a short time. And yes, I think to everybody who presented, not just the final team, I think like Dr. Ash mentioned, it's important that you all see how you can take this up forward. Don't stop it here. Don't just keep it for as a part of the NatCon activity, but try to find ways in which you can actually take this forward. Try to see how you can locally implement it, or try to take your solutions to people who can implement it. I think that's what would make it really effective.
Thank you so much, Georges. And it has just come to my notice that there is another team remaining who we hadn't called out yet. And they are Sarah, Abhiram, Tanishka, and Michelle. So with this presentation, we'll be ending all the presentations, and then we'll move on to the award ceremony. So guys, over to you. You can present now.
Sarah?
Is anyone from the team here?
I am. Could you give me 1 minute? I have a technical problem.
Sure. Take your time. Okay, so while we wait for the team to present, after this we'll be having a short 10-minute break while we collate all the awards, and then we'll have the closing ceremony, in which we'll have the award ceremony, and we'll also have the final results of the pineapple pizza battle, along with Mihir's most awaited face reveal. So do hang in there for the closing ceremony as well. And now the team can present whenever they're ready. Guys, are you
Yeah, sorry, I lost my neck.
You can start presenting now.
Wait, I don't think my group's participants are here.
Michelle, Sarah, and Tanishka were here a few seconds ago, but
Yeah, I think Tanish, one of them is still here. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. So we are group 5, and the members of our group are me, Abhiram Girgaonkar, Sara Mundada, Tanishka Shah, and Tanishka Saigaonkar, and Michelle Alex.
Coal mining. Coal mining is the process of extracting coal from the ground. Coal is valued for its energy content and it has been widely used for generating electricity. China, US, and India are one of the major producers of electricity from the coal.
Extraction of coal is varied depending on whether the mine is a surface mine or an underground mine. When the coal seems to be deep inside the ground, it requires more underground mining. But when coal seams are near the surface, it's more economical to extract coal from surface mining methods.
Surface mining. Surface mining is a type of mining in which the surface layer of the earth is removed. Or in other words, we can say the top layer of the earth is removed. Many rocks and minerals are obtained from the surface layer. For example, coal and lignite. Lignite is a type of soft brown colored coal. Surface mining is usually practiced in mountainous regions so that the mountain top can be removed easily. It could also cause mass damage to the ecosystem.
So the main problem that we've faced is as the world moves on from non-renewable coal to sustainable energy, more and more coal mines are left abandoned. Find a way to utilize these mines to benefit the environment and or the community.
Abandoned mines are a great safety hazard, and they have been found to be homes for wild animals and protective barriers for old explosives since the World War. And these mines are abandoned due to economic, health, and safety reasons. And there are 82 such sites in India currently. So our solution was to convert this surface mine, which was abandoned, into an irrigation pool, as it fits our country's agrarian economy. So the agriculture in our country is highly dependent on the monsoons for the annual water supply, and as we all know that the monsoons are highly erratic in nature, and it's too big a risk to depend on them for the water supply.
So currently a majority of our country is suffering from an acute water shortage problem. Therefore, we believe that this mine or irrigation pool could end up helping the environment by replenishing the depleting groundwater resources as well as provide a consistent water supply to the cultivated fields. Also, countermeasures for overflowing in this mine should be taken care of by constructing an embankment which is suitable for public viewing while providing ample safety.
Guys, you have 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Okay, so we decided that the collected water should be distributed through a connection of PVC pipes. So there will be a main pipe connected to the pool at the bottom, and there will be a vacuum attached to the entrance of the pipe, which will create a suction, which will force the water to be sucked into the pipe, which then which can be distributed to the domestic water usage facilities. Next slide. So we are taking help from Wikipedia and National Geographic for our project. That's it, I guess.
Thank you so much, guys, for an amazing presentation. Judges, any questions or comments? Ms. Priyanka, Ms. Komal, Dr. Ash?
Yeah, I thought that it was a great presentation, and thank you so much for coming in. I'm sorry that we didn't include you earlier, but I just wanted to say that I thought was really well structured, well thought through, and brilliantly presented. My overall remarks to you and to all the incredible presenters over the last couple of days is, we had a super inspirational session with Steph this morning, and I just want to say, that's one example of an incredible follow through, and I think it's really important that we all sort of keep developing our ideas and take stuff forward from here. Each one of you has a crucial part to play in protecting our planet. And I just want to say your ability to come up with some amazing ideas in a really short period of time has been truly inspirational. So thank you once again, and let's keep it coming, guys.
So with that, we are done with the activity presentations for the day. I mean, for the entire event, but we can say for the day. And now we'll have a short 10-minute break before we announce the awards and have the closing ceremony. So hang on and stay in the meeting while we just set up all the awards, and we'll be back right here in 10 minutes. So see you guys. And don't leave the meeting.
Way to restore balance again. But the truth is that it is we, the people, who will be left to face the consequences of this restoration. And it's the vulnerable communities and the millions of species of flora and fauna that will face the worst of it. The generations before us had let their greed and ignorance take priority over their care for our environment. And as the clock ticks today, just as the one yours showed us right at the start of this event, the situation can make all of us feel worried, overwhelmed, and even hopeless. But there is hope. And I know repeatedly everyone is talking about how youth are the ones who have to lead change, and this can add a lot of pressure. But we want all the youth to know out there that you're not alone. This is a time we need to join hands, partner with like-minded people, bring on board the non-believers, and just truly support one another and the planet while making sure no one is left behind. We need to begin by making conscious efforts in our personal lives and also educate and inspire any and everyone that we meet in our journey. There is certainly so much hope as long as we work in unity. And this conference is a great example of what the power of coming together is. Through the course of 3 days, we've witnessed some of the most eminent speakers join us here and also seen the kind of passion and vision young minds have for our planet. Just as Dr. Ash stated, it is important that we now think about what steps we are going to take post this event. This discussion must not stop here and must convert into effective action. Mr. Natarajan also very aptly pointed out that we need to start living our life in such a way that it benefits the planet. Right from the job we take to the colleges and schools we join and the communities we live in, we need to keep a check on how we can support our environment. And as Mr. Pushkar also pointed out, we need to go back to our roots and connect with the traditional and indigenous ways of caring and connecting with our planet. We already have such inspiring examples of young people who are bringing about such phenomenal change, right? From Prachi to Steph, they are path breakers who are bringing so much hope into this world. And then, of course, we have eminent organizations like the POP movement that embraces and supports young change makers to reach for the sky and beyond. The activity and debate sessions truly represented the limitless potential each of you have. And let me tell you that this is only the beginning. I cannot wait to see what each of you will achieve going forward. Post this event today, I want you all to take a pledge. Promise yourself that you will start consciously taking actions that only protect our planet, that you will educate all those around you and inspire them to do the same, that you will also continue to educate yourself and explore solutions you can take up for building a sustainable world, that you will connect with like-minded youth, organizations, and individuals and work together in solidarity, and that you will become the voices for the vulnerable people and millions of species of flora and fauna, that you will care, support, and nurture our planet, our home, in any way you can, because no action is too small or too big. Once again, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the entire organizing committee. I am sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names, but I will give it my best shot. Ved Sanyal, Aryan Chaudhary, Mihir Radhi, Hazik Kazi, Abia Sayed, Dea Shah, Meghna Yadlapalli, Aditya Srinivasan, Alisha Pinto, Bhavya Mathur, Hansika Pulugu, Anusha Agarwal, Zoya Bhargavan, Simran Jadhav. You all are just absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. And I would appreciate if the applause reactions continue for this entire organizing team that has done such a brilliant job in bringing the speakers, bringing the youth, bringing all of us here together today. And to all the young leaders who joined us in this conference, thank you for joining us. We are here for you. The Airways Foundation is here for you. The POP movement is here for you. Please feel free to connect with us at any point, and we would love to support you and make you a part of our family. Thank you so much, everyone, and looking forward to working closely with each one of you and wishing you all the very best in everything that you do for our planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priyanka. That was indeed really good. And the comments coming in the chat are really, really, it makes all of us feel good and motivated to do this. So while the events may have had its ups and downs throughout the 3 days, at the end, we all had fun and learned a lot, even us organizers. We learned a lot. And like Ms. Priyanka said, it's never too late to make, like we all, the young people are the ones who can actually make a difference. So yeah. Anyways, guys, now we have a team member of ours, Ved, who will be speaking about how we came up with NatCon. I'm not very sure why, but he wants to speak. So let's have a round of applause for Ved.
Hello. First of all, thank you all for attending the conference. When we started out, I remember telling Aryan that not more than 30 people will join. Let's not wait for that. And then 2 days before the event, I'm like, let's not wait for people to join. Let's just start. And then turns out 200 people join on the final day. And I'm like, well, this doesn't seem right, but okay, sure, let's go with the flow. And when 300 people registered for the conference, it was actually a shock to us. Like earlier, we thought that let's see every time a registration comes, and then it just became spam for us because we're like every 300 emails in our inboxes. But overall, it was a lot of fun. And just to give a behind the scenes journey, we started in about June, and we heavily were inspired by this competition called the World Scholars Cup. Originally, the plan was to have a conference like many others, sessions after sessions, but then we realized that that's not really what people want. And I can see Aryan and Priyanka both smiling because they've been part of this competition, and WSC is very close to our heart. It's it's inspired all our debate formats and debate rounds. So we're very thankful to them. And then as we progressed, we got a lot of experts. I was honestly surprised how many of them confirmed. I thought like two will confirm, but it was a lot of fun through the whole process. All of us probably want to sleep after this run through, after this event, but it was a lot of fun, and we are thankful for everybody who joined the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faith. Okay, so now for the final part and the most debated part of the event, we'll have the award ceremony. So while some of you may have won and some of you may not, like the comments in the chat say, the journey is what matters the most, and we all learned a lot. So these awards are just a way of appreciating everyone and just a way of making sure that people actually understand how much they've worked and how hard they've worked for this. So Ved, maybe you can start sharing your screen and we can start the award ceremony. And we'll have the pineapple pizza result at the end along with Mihir's face reveal.
Yes, Aryan, do you want to go ahead with the pineapple results first? Because some of the results just came in, so I'm still tabulating them.
Okay, so guys, take a guess on which side Ashley won. Just put in the chat, like we were yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I think pineapple on pizza wins.
Okay, so it's kind of a mixed response. So we had prepared for this exact situation, and to settle this, Mihir and I have decided to have a small bullet chess match to decide which side Ashley wins. So Mihir, if you're here, you can start sharing your screen and we can play the chess match to see which side Ashley won. And Mihir will be representing the side with pineapple, and I'll be the normal pizza, the real pizza guy. So, Mihir. I have a feeling Mihir isn't allowed.
Mihir isn't a co-host. Wait, make him a co-host. He can't unmute and share.
Also, do we get Mihir's face reveal now, or is there still?
I know we have it on the board.
Why doesn't Mihir just turn on his camera while playing the game?
I don't think he is going to, but that's it.
Okay, Mihir, you can share your screen now.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. So this is how all the attendees feel when they're powerless to express their voices. But okay, Aryan, I thought you were gonna share your screen, but okay, sure, I can do this.
You can do
One
it.
second. Okay. So, hello. Aryan, you can send me an invite to play.
Yeah,
Mihir, you still aren't a co-host. We're still bullying you.
Oh wow, okay, babe, thank you so much. I did all that work and this is what you give me. Aryan, you there?
Mihir has sent you an invite. Just check if you got it.
Okay, so for context, bullet chess is like 1 minute chess, so it's very hectic.
And of course, I'm better than Mihir, so we're gonna win. The pizza side's gonna win. So
We'll see. We'll see. Aryan, I haven't gotten your invite yet. Can you send it again?
just
Wait, hang on. Have I friended you? Okay, yes, I have. That's way. This is the only way to settle arguments, guys. If anyone's annoying you, just challenge them to a game of chess. That's
okay, I
good
got your invite now.
resolution. That's how world wars are waged, on a chess
So
board.
guys, I am on the black side and he's on the white side. So
Yeah. That is what we are doing.
What are you doing right now again?
Yeah, and they're asking you what you're doing. Are you that bad?
very sure, but
I got disconnected.
Oh, okay. Basically, what we're doing is we're settling this pineapple pizza argument once and for all. We're playing a game of chess to see who's right.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the mixed responses were too overwhelming, so we just decided to keep
They were too mixed.
Yeah, they were
Aryan, people are telling you that half of the people in the meeting are counting on you, so no pressure.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. They're a lot less than half, I'm sure. I'm sure everyone just loves the pineapple gang.
Okay. I think I'm gonna lose, but let's see.
Much like the non-pineapplers should. Okay, that was a pretty good move, actually. Wait, what do I do? For context, can we just remember that Aryan said he was way better than me at chess?
Yeah, don't remember that. Yeah.
I see, so you'll remember if you win, huh?
Aryan, you gotta win, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at how many people are counting on you, Aryan. Aryan, are you gonna let the... Okay, that was a horrible move. I don't know why I did that.
Okay, so it looks like Mihir's won.
Oh, I won.
But,
okay, yes.
Yeah,
the pineapples
Mihir.
win. Good game.
But like, no, but in our hearts, we all know that the real pizza is better, so it's fine.
Real
Aryan, people hate you.
Aryan, you love Marvel, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Well, as they say, reality is often disappointing.
Okay, fair enough. But for all of you who are saying no in the chat, we all know that real pizza is better, so it's fine. But congratulations, Mihir.
Thank you.
For now, I'm gonna let you win. Maybe next year we'll continue this with better stuff. And
Yes,
now
we will.
we have the award ceremony. Wait, I think you have to put on slideshow.
Yes, but the much awaited awards.
Okay, so we have various awards, right from the activity to the debate to the best speaker. So first we'll have the debate winners. Third, for round one, the best speaker is Davi Viana from Sweden. Congratulations, Davi. For round two, we have Isha Kulkarni, who is the best speaker. And for the final round, round three, we have Sophie Momin as the best speaker. And now for the debate winners in best teams. So for third place, we have Dia and Mihika, who've gotten a bronze. For second place, we have Navya Bhandari, Mihika Tohrani, and Mihika Shah. And for the first place, we have Sophie Momin, Atharva Lele, and Anika Masale. Congratulations, guys. And now for the debate winners in the second room, we had, as third place, we have Varun Avate, Aryaman Deshmukh, and Saveer Patil. For second place, we have Aditya Rao, Aishwarya Aran, and Kavya Joy. And for the first place, we have Isha Kulkarni, Antara Kulkarni, and Kanayaka Pai. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And we have a few special mentions in debate. who are Asmik Smaran and Dhruv Shetty. They were the youngest team we had, and yet they spoke with a lot of confidence, and their points were really amazing. So let's have a round of applause for them. We then have, we also have a special mention to Dia and Mihika, who got to the final round being just a 2-person team, which is indeed really, really great. So congratulations, guys. And now for the Army of the Year challenge, the activity winners. All the presentations were really good, but these are the ones we have shortlisted the best presentations. Advita Karnad and Manasvita Nakal are third place. For second place, we have Siddhant Pandit, Kavya Joy, Mihika Meshram, and Tanisha Viegas. And for the first place, we have Navya Bhandari, Mrunal Bangale, Riya Mehta, Samaira Malik, and Yash Shaju. And we also have a few mentions of the activity presentations who we thought were really creative. We have Geet Shah, Atharva Thenge, Adarsh Adhikari, Sara Hassan, and Shivam Humbe. Their rap was really good. So that was the awards. And congratulations to all of you. Expect to hear from us in the next week, as we'll be sending you your certificates and your awards, which we promised. So, and even the ones who didn't win any award, you all did really good. And like I said yesterday, the judges had a really tough time deciding who won. So congratulations, guys. Keep the congratulations coming. And now for the final thing, Mihir, face reveal, please, as everyone's been waiting for that the entire day.
I am aware. Okay, so I'm just warning you guys, your eyes are never going to be the same again. You can, so just like enjoy these last few moments.
Guys, let's get everyone from NatCon to turn on their cameras. Like, come
Second
on.
of all, I'd just like to say that don't judge me for this because my hair has been very messy this whole day and I can never find a way to comb it properly. So hi, this is me.
Guys,
hello. Okay, wait, my hair looks horrible. But hi. It's a bit disappointing.
And that was the most debated event of the entire NatCon.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
And with that, we'd again like to thank every one of you for being here and for participating in this entire thing. I'd like to thank all the judges, all the speakers who actually came and spent their time with us. So good job, everyone. And we hope to see you next time when we organize an event like this as well. You can expect to hear from us in the next week about your participation certificates and your awards for the people who won. So congratulations and good job, guys. See you later.
So much.
Congratulations, everyone.
A special mention to Miss Komal and Miss Priyanka. They've been there for us throughout. Like I texted them at 12 o'clock in the night and they would be there replying within a minute. So a special mention to both of them. Thank you.
And
Thank you, Wade, for the opportunity. Congratulations to everyone.
I just want to say one last thing, okay? So before this event closes and we all head our separate ways living our lives, I would just like to say that pineapples are the best. Okay, goodbye, everyone. We win.
Peace out, pineapples are not good. Okay, Mihir?